All right, we're back with Governor Polis of Colorado, a little bit of overtime here. One of your voters over there was not happy with your Tina Peters answer on whether she should come out of jail or not.
That's right. Well, there's not an answer till there's an answer, right? So people are waiting to hear what I'm looking at. And again, the way I look at that is just simply based on the facts. And there's some that work in her favor, some that work against her. And it's not unique to her. Frankly, the harder cases for me on clemency are people that have committed assault or felony murder. I've done some of those over the years. And it really, to let somebody out at some point, have they made restitution, is a tough decision. But it's one that I'm never afraid to shy away from.
When we were talking earlier, you mentioned that Colorado overall is a very healthy state. And I know you've lamented in the past the fact that some Democrats have sided with the RFK wing of the Republican Party. They've switched their votes in part because of the Make America Healthy Again movement. What lost those voters for Democrats? Was it meatless Mondays? Was it diets for climate change? Like, where did the Democrats go wrong with that constituency?
Well, some of those voters, to be clear, are vegan or vegetarian or gluten-free. I mean, very health conscious. I think Democrats should be the party of health, and that means health care reform, making it more affordable for people. But remember, it's nobody's goal to have health care. It's your goal to just stay healthy. And a lot of that comes down to diet, nutrition, exercise. And it shouldn't be a partisan message. Colorado has the lowest obesity rate of any state. We're proud of that. We have a great outdoor lifestyle. That's something that we should really take across the country.
But Democrats were already trying to be the party of health. There were, Biden had a summit. The Obamas were focused on it during their time in office. So where did things?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't really see them talking about, for instance, the health dangers of highly processed foods. The same way that some of the Republicans did. So I think really Democrats should step out, how we can reduce insecticide use, healthier diets, healthier nutrition. School meals is another one we should make some progress on.
Since you mentioned earlier that you are pro-freedom, when do you make a decision that the government has a role to play intervening in people's lives?
Oh, of course. I'm not an anarchist by any way, shape, or form. Look. We have rights, fundamental rights, God-given if you believe in God, given out of social convention with different set of beliefs. But, when you're minding your own business and doing your own thing, the government should interfere. When you start interfering with your neighbors and those around you, there's a very appropriate role of government to step in and say they deserve their freedom too.
Affordability. I talked to voters yesterday all around 16th Street here, not far away. That came up constantly. People don't feel like they can afford what they could 5 years ago. How are you addressing that?
First of all, Colorado is a great place to live. That's why people are moving here. That has then made prices higher. We're still a good deal compared to states like California and New York. It's lower cost here. But yes, it's challenging. And we've reduced the income tax rate 3 times. When I came into office, it was 4.63%, reduced it to 4.5%, 4.4%, and then when we have a surplus to 4.25%. We've cut property taxes. We're looking at all the cost drivers. Our universal preschool and kindergarten, families in Colorado, when I became governor, had to pay for preschool, had to pay for kindergarten. Now it's free. Saves families over $6,000 a year.
Do you think politics has gotten worse in the 8 years you've been in office? I mean, nationally.
It's definitely gotten more vitriolic, right? I think it's wonderful to disagree. It would be a very boring place if we all agreed on everything.
Sure.
But there are constructive ways to disagree, and I enjoyed working with Spencer Cox on our Disagree Better initiative, really elevating the fact that disagreement is part of the American spirit in our existence. Our founding fathers had very profound disagreements, but to step down to the level of personal attacks and undermine the motives of others is really what's dangerous in today's society. What bothers me the most is the huge gap in perceptions of what Democrats think Republicans believe and what Republicans think Democrats believe. Most Americans are good, honest, hardworking Americans who want to make our country a better place, and we need to celebrate that commonality.
So what's your role then in all this? I mentioned to you earlier there was a voter I talked to yesterday who said it feels like Republicans and Democrats have forgotten that we're all on the same plane. And one of them is going to crash the plane despite the other. And I'm back here saying, just land it safely. How do you fix things?
That's a very good metaphor. I like to think at the state level, in many states, we work together better than the national dynamic. When I was elected governor, one of my first calls to a legislator was to a Republican legislator saying, will you carry my full-day kindergarten bill? He had been a longtime champion of that. He agreed to carry it, bipartisan bill, of course, bipartisan opposition as well. Every member of our legislature introduces 5 bills, whether a Republican or Democrat, and there's many bills from both sides that reach my desk, and I've also vetoed bills from both Republicans and Democrats, too.
I had a somewhat jokey introduction to you about how all these different positions you've taken and how it's hard to place you politically. But underneath that, there's a serious point, which is young people don't really identify with political parties. You're hard to fit in a party. Do we need political parties the way we used to?
Well, about half of Coloradans aren't a member of any political party. We call it unaffiliated. Some states call it independent. And it doesn't mean that some of them aren't passionately progressive or conservative, but they don't see themselves in a party structure. They believe in their beliefs. They might be a mix and match of the different parties. Honestly, I think voters should pick the best candidate for any office. In Colorado, we also have direct democracy. Many initiatives come before the voters. That's how we legalize marijuana. That's how we legalize natural medicine, psilocybin, ibogaine. Those are decisions that the voters make directly.
But would we be better off without political parties?
Well, look, George Washington warned of the danger of political parties.
Is Jared Polis going to follow Washington and warn now of the dangers?
You look at countries that have multi-party systems. Our single-member districts makes it hard. I think a multi-party system would be healthier in many ways, proportional representation. I also support term limits. I support open primaries. In Colorado, if you're unaffiliated, you can vote in the Democratic or Republican primary. That's up to you. You don't have to be in that party to vote for it. So the more we can open it up, the better. Top 2, top 5, ranked choice voting. City of Denver selected their mayor, ranked choice voting. It worked well. My city, Boulder, selected our mayor, ranked choice voting.
All right. Well, I won't be the next person to ask you about 2028 unless you have anything you want to add on 2028.
No news we're going to break now, but I'm running through the tape. I'm so excited to be governor of the greatest state in the country, Colorado, for one more year.
All right. It was great to meet your parents as well.
They're here, too. They're big fans. Thank
you very much. Appreciate it. Hey, guys.